Okay, guys, this next unit is probably my favorite unit of pre-cal because it's a very algebra-based type of unit. So hopefully you guys like it as well. Whoa. Okay, so it is called 6.1 Reciprocal Quotient and Pythagorean Identities. Okay, what I'm going to do first, and I want y'all to copy this down, and give you the identities. Okay, so the reciprocal identities are, and y'all should know this because this is kind of, it's tying into what we did back in like October. But cotangent is 1 over tangent. And you'll see a variation of this that looks like cotangent times tangent equals 1. Hence, all you do here is if you multiply both sides by tangent, you get cotangent times tangent equals 1. Okay? Cosecant of x is the same as is equal to 1 over sine of x. You'll also see it like sine times cosecant, and I just misspelled that, so make that an S and this is a C, equals 1. And then you'll have secant equals 1 over cosine of x, which is also cosine times secant, gives you 1. Okay? You'll see what we're going to be doing with these in a minute, but just for right now, and you'll just write these down, and hang on one second, and you'll understand better. So the quotient identities, I misspelled that, is tangent of x equals sine over cosine of x, and cotangent of x is cosine of x over sine of x. And then last but not least is the Pythagorean theorem, or the Pythagorean identities. Okay. And these look like is cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x equals 1. Now, for those of y'all that are loving pre-cal, remember, I told y'all cosine's like your x value, sine is like your y value. Okay? So this is kind of like what we've been doing with our like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, 1 is our radius for the triangle. But if y'all don't remember that, then completely ignore what I just said. Okay, so you got cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. Okay. You also have tangent squared of x plus 1 equals secant squared of x. And then the last one is 1 plus cotangent squared of x equals cosecant squared of x. Okay, what I'm going to do first is we're going to just work out some examples, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Okay? So, number 1. For all of these problems, we are going to prove / transform okay, so first one, we've got tangent of x equals secant of x over cosecant of x. Now, the key to this problem is to use one side of and transform one side of this problem. So we know secant is the same thing as 1 over cosine of x. We know cosecant is 1 over sine of x. Okay, if you have a different colored pen, you might want to do what I'm doing to help things stay clear. Okay, we're dividing by fractions, so we have 1 over cosine of x times secant, or I'm sorry, not secant, sine of x over 1. I took my bottom fraction, flipped it over, and we get sine of x over cosine of x, which proves right there the quotient identity. So that proves that it is tangent of x. Notice, I did not change anything with this tangent of x. You're trying to get tangent of x, you're trying to get secant of x over cosecant of x to look like tangent of x. Okay? Let me do another problem. Okay? So, I want you to transform sine of x times cosine of x to cosine of x. Okay? And I wrote down my problem wrong. Whoops. It's not cosine. Sorry about that, guys. It's cotangent. Okay? You'll start getting the hang of this, okay? You're probably feeling a little overwhelmed. You just need to keep on referring back to our identities, okay? So, we're trying to get sine times cosine to equal sine times cotangent to equal to cosine. Okay? What I would do is change cotangent to cosine of x over sine of x. When we do that, we've got fractions. You multiply straight across. And look what we just did. We just transformed it. Okay? Okay, another problem. 1 plus cosine of x times 1 minus cosine of x. I want you to transform that to sine squared of x. Okay, whenever you see parentheses, you're probably going to factor. So you got 1 minus cosine of x. You got plus cosine of x. And then cosine times cosine, negative cosine gives you negative cosine squared of x. Okay? These cancel, so you're left with 1 minus cosine squared of x. Okay? Here's a hint. Whenever you see a square, pretty much 90% of the time you're going to be using the Pythagorean identity. So if you pause and look back up at your notes, our Pythagorean identity, oops, I don't want to use that, I want to use a marker, is cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. So if we were to subtract cosine on both sides, we would have 1 minus cosine squared of x. So we just proved, and my thing is going nuts, sorry. We just proved, or actually I should say transformed this to sine of squared of x. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you the last one, and this is a tricky one, so don't get frustrated. But we got secant of x over sine of x minus sine of x over cosine of x. So I want you to transform that or make it equal to cotangent of x. Okay? Notice we're trying to get it to look like one term. So you're going to then, we're going to have to combine the fractions. Okay? You can't just put them together. You've got to get them to have the same denominator. So we know we want sine of x times cosine of x on the bottom. So what we're going to have to do is multiply to make that happen. So multiply by 1, which is cosine of x over cosine of x. And then sine of x over sine of x. Okay, that then gives us secant of x times cosecant of x. Okay, go back up, secant times cosecant. Right here, that equals 1. Okay, so this whole thing equals 1. And then sine of x squared, okay. Again, 1 minus sine squared of x is the Pythagorean identity, which is equal to cosine squared. Okay, you have 2 cosines on top, 1 on the bottom, then 1 can cancel out. So 1 on the top can cancel and 1 on the bottom can cancel, and you're left with cosine over sine, which is then equal to cotangent. Okay, that is it for today, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.